Hello, everyone. Good afternoon to all of you. Every day we speak, sometimes we make mistakes. Even native speakers make mistakes when they talk. Making mistakes is a natural part of learning, so don't be disappointed when you speak. Generally, we learn grammar from grammar books, but we shouldn't depend entirely on grammar books. We can learn grammar naturally. When we read any text, we can learn grammar by reading different types of articles, because each line contains grammar materials, uses of prepositions, active voice, passive voice, sentence structure, vocabulary, everything we can learn if we read texts. So, in order to learn correct English, you should make a habit of reading. On the other hand, if we listen to good English from different sources carefully, we can learn grammar. English sound is very important. You should listen to good English from different sources so that you can understand sounds and you can catch grammar items carefully. So, make a habit of listening every day. Your fluency will develop. At the same time, you will be able to speak correctly grammatically. Sometimes we say, I am going to whom. It is an incorrect sentence because before whom we do not use preposition to, because whom is an adverb here, but without understanding we often say I am going to whom or we are going to whom. But the correct sentence is I am going home or we are going home. We make mistakes because we do not understand grammar often. Sometimes we say, I am going to cycling. It is an incorrect sentence because cycling is not a place, it is an activity. So, we should say, I am going cycling, not to cycling. In this way, we say, I am going to shopping. It is also an incorrect sentence. We should say, I am going shopping, not to shopping. If we are aware of uses of prepositions or other grammar items, we can speak nicely, correctly. So, sometimes we should study grammar. In many ways we can learn. In this video, I am going to talk about conditionals. It is an important part of English grammar. If we learn the structures of conditionals, we can use in speaking and in writing. Generally, there are 4 conditionals in English: zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, and third conditional. Each conditional has a specific structure we have to follow. Let's talk about zero conditional first. In case of scientific truth or general fact, we use zero conditional. The structure is if plus present indefinite tense plus present indefinite tense. For example, if you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. Here, subject is you, heat is the verb of present form, The rest part is it boils. It is a subject here and boil is the present form of verb. So according to the structure, if plus present indefinite and the rest part is also present indefinite tense. Another example, if you add 2 plus 2, it equals 4. Now you can make some sentences, even more than 10 sentences to understand, and you should write on your notebook so that you can revise them again and again. Then we have first conditional. The structure is if plus present indefinite tense plus future indefinite tense. To describe possible future, we use first conditional. For example, if you study, you will pass the exam. So, if you study, there is a possibility to pass in future. So, in this case, we use first conditional. Now, you should make some sentences to understand first conditional. Second conditional, to describe hypothetical present situation or future situation, we use second conditional. The structure is if plus past indefinite tense plus subject plus would plus be1. For example, if you studied hard, you would pass the exam. The structure is very clear. If you try to understand it, at first you should memorize the structure, then you should make some sentences to understand. Finally, we have third conditional. We use third conditional to describe hypothetical past. The structure is if plus past perfect tense plus subject plus would have plus third form of verb. For example, if you had studied, you would have passed the exam. So the structure is very clear. If plus past perfect tense and the rest part is subject plus would have plus third form of verb. In order to learn conditionals, you have to memorize all the structures properly. And then you should make some sentences to understand them. When you speak, you can use conditionals if you need. And in case of writing, sometimes we use conditionals. If we learn them perfectly, we will be able to use all conditionals correctly. So, my dear students, I would like to say that sometimes we should learn grammar in our free time so that we can speak correctly, we can write correctly. But some students, they remain indifferent to learning grammar. They think that learning grammar is not important. But in my point of view, in order to speak correctly or to write good English, correct English, we should practice grammar. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you another day with new video. Till then, you take care.